There are whispers of people throughout time who could communicate without words. Shamans, mystics, non-speakers with autism. We call it telepathy, and most of us wonder, is it real? And if so, can we do it? And if so, who else is experiencing it? These were the questions that brought a group of strangers together in the woods.
You've probably all considered at some time or another, what would telepathy be like? And I think most people answer that question by thinking that telepathy would be for me to hear what you think. But how would it be if telepathy were for me to see what you mean? That's telepathy.
People came from all over the world and from different walks of life. Some came skeptical, some already convinced, and not just from a telepathy podcast they'd listened to, but from their own embodied experience.
It is so hard to find like-minded, sensitive, energetically aware people that you feel safe communicating with. And, I spend most of my time alone, I really do. And I got my clients and I love them and I got my practice, but this part of my journey really requires more heart connection with people.
And I do believe that telepathy is that kind of master key, because as the kids on telepathy tapes will say, you have to open your heart and you have to be in love and you have to be in heart space to be able to connect with that. And I think that's what will save us all and save the world. I get to come to this amazing place and be with amazing people and hopefully learn how to speak to you without moving my mouth. Like, that's just fucking awesome.
I have been going back and picking up the gifts, and I'm like, I don't have to experience them in the context of Christianity or religion. Spirituality is okay, and there's a whole fucking amazing world beyond us. We're so much more than these bodies. So I'm very excited to explore some of these things.
The essence of camp was this: to practice telepathy with plants, animals, and each other.
If I can't see it, so then I feel like I'm making it up.
Oh, I feel like I'm making up half of what I said. That's okay too. I was like, I touched the tree, it said lucky, I said lucky. Okay, this is what I mean, like, for me, the practice of letting go of that is so beautiful. I said a year ago, I'm not a plant person. And then I realized like how silly that was. And I said, I'm a plant person. And plants started not dying in my house. As soon as I said, I'm a plant person. Let go of your attachment to seeing it. Just be curious about it. I think that one of the reasons why it's valuable when you're having conversations around telepathy, why it's valuable to start with trees, is because they're already so damn good at it. Why not learn from the masters? And if we can tune into that frequency, I kind of know what you mean about everything seemed kind of off. Yeah. I think that's what happened when I was 19. I don't know if people could call it like a Kundalini awakening, whatever you want to call it, I don't know, but I was just like, I am the tree. It was like such a profound experience, but it was like also scary. Yeah. Because I'm like, yeah, but I need to be a body. Grounding into our heart is because this is what we know. All this is illusion. We see, what do they say, like 5 to 8% of what's in front of us? So if we're really addicted to being right about what we're seeing, then we're gonna make everything we see make sense, including other people, our viewpoints. Trees don't have auras. cats don't talk, right? We're gonna limit our experience if we're like so addicted to our safety. You know, it's gonna take, I think, stepping out of our sense of safety in order to do something new that we already know, you know? So that's why I love this, because it's like, there's a part of me that's like, I don't know if that tree said lucky, right? But I'm gonna have that faith. Someone was speaking about faith earlier. I'm gonna have that faith. That's exactly what's going on.
There were even a few unplanned experiments that emerged. Could we communicate with extraterrestrial beings? Could we communicate with the dead? Isn't that telepathy too?
So sometimes the person who you most want to hear from is the person who comes through. Sometimes it's someone who most wants to communicate with you. It could be someone who's been hanging on to a message for a long time. It also could be someone who comes through because they're a good energetic match for me in this moment, in this environment. I feel like there's two people coming through, so I'm going to... Okay, I'm just gonna work with whoever is first and we'll see what this is. I feel like this is a male. He feels young. He crossed before his time. And I feel as if he may have had a issue with addiction or possibly took something and there was fentanyl in it and he crossed with fentanyl. This is you? Okay. And it was an accident. Okay. Are you okay with me continuing? Because I just haven't heard from him in a long time. Okay. So he's here for a reason, obviously. He knows that you're grieving him. So I feel in his personality that he loved life. He was like, I want to experience absolutely everything, which is why he, as a soul, pushed boundaries and tried things he wasn't supposed to try. Because to him, it wasn't to him, he wasn't escaping life, he was digging in deeper. Does that make sense? He was like, I want to feel everything, I want to experience everything, and I know that there's a risk, but there's also a risk of like playing it safe. Does it make sense that he was struggling with addiction towards the end though? Okay, so it wasn't like a one-time experience. He was struggling with addiction. But he wasn't
trying to overdose.
Yeah, he was not.
Like that. It was a complete accident. He always was like the guy who would party too hard.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then one day it just got the best of him.
He was an explorer of this other side. He was so fascinated. If he could have like worked for NASA, he would have been on the rocket, you know? He is now living in that altered consciousness place, which is a sense of peace and comfort and feels like home to him. So he's not suffering. He knows you're suffering. He knows his family's suffering, but he's not suffering.
The truth is, Telepathy Camp wasn't built for answers. It was built for remembering. It was never about proving that telepathic communication exists. It was about opening to the possibility that we're more connected than we think. And maybe that's the real transmission here. Not an image, or a thought, or a vision sent across space, but the reminder that connection is everywhere, and it's always here, and it's waiting to be felt. Telepathy Camp was a permission slip to be more open, to embrace the weird, to let the inner child out and see what happens when a group of strangers remembers that we're not strangers at all, that we're not separate from plants and animals and each other, that we're not separate from our own multidimensional selves. That's the unsaid that was heard by those of us remembering telepathy in the woods.